Hello everyone and welcome to another Android development tutorial. In this video we're going to be going over retrofit and we're going to be going over parsing JSON. So I actually wrote a blog article specifically about this. Go ahead and check it out on my website schoenrockdevelopment.com, and there will be a link in the description. However, if we take a look at the blog article, we actually get walked through how to do all of this step by step. However, I also felt it would be beneficial to make a video specifically about this. All right, so the API that we're going to be using is from JSON placeholder. It allows us to access this API for free, and there's nothing we have to do. So we are actually using this API endpoint, JSON placeholder, this API endpoint to-dos, and that is how we're getting our to-do list. So let's take a look at how we have this project set up. All right, so the first thing we have is our data class, which represents an object that we get back from the API. Next, we have our interface. This is how Retrofit is set up. So we have our interface, and our interface has our HTTP verb and then our API endpoint, specifically without the base URL. And then we have a function that we use to get the object afterwards. Since this is in a coroutine, we use the deferred keyword, or excuse me, we inherit from deferred, and then the type is a list of these to-do responses. Okay, so then we are able to access that with this web service class, and that is where the base URL is, and we have created our retrofit object, and we have our HTTP client, which is made from OKHTTP. And the retrofit object consists of our base URL. It also consists of our call adapter factory, which we're using the coroutine call adapter factory, and it also consists of the converter factory, for which we're using the JSON converter factory, and our client. So in this case, it's the OKHTTP client that we made up here, and then of course we build it, and then we use it to access our web interface. And so next, how do we access this information? So let's take a look at our main activity. We have right here, this is our coroutine. So this global scope, we use the keyword global scope right here because we don't necessarily, in this case, care where the coroutine is accessed from, and so that's why we use global scope, because it could be accessed globally. If we wanted to define a specific scope, we could do that as well. And then the job, and then we launch our coroutine, and the parameters that we use is essentially which dispatcher do we want to take this job. And so in this case, we're using the main dispatcher. And so inside of this coroutine, this is where we are doing whatever essentially we need to do. We're calling, we have a variable called items, and then we have it getting our to-do list items essentially. So we have an object for our web service that we created here, and then our web service access the get information from interface method. Very creative name. And then now we have our get to-do list method as well from our web interface. And so that is how we actually are able to access the information that is being passed back. And then we call await to essentially await asynchronously this call. And so after we get this information, we pass it through in the adapter, and then of course, as you remember from the last tutorial, it goes to our adapter and it displays in our recycler view. So let's go ahead and we'll run that. And Again, there's different ways we could do this. This is the most basic way possible to make your coroutine. There are other ways we could do this as well. In fact, I will show you in the next one how we can use live data so we can get our project set up for MVVM architecture, and so that we can actually get this organized um, significantly better. So let's take a look now at our app, and there it is. So we have all of our responses shown up here. The titles are shown up. So if we take a look at this endpoint, we can go here and we can see all of our titles, and there they are. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just a brief rundown of Retrofit. If you have any other questions, be sure to look at my blog article. Make sure you also install the latest version of Retrofit in your build Gradle. We can actually take a look at that right now. And so we have these implementations. We have Retrofit Kotlin Coroutines adapter, Retrofit 2, and then the Retrofit converter for JSON as well. And then we have our Coroutines Core and Coroutines Android. And so with these, we're able to actually run this with coroutines, and we're able to implement Retrofit. So go ahead and play with that. Take a look at my source code as well. It is on GitHub, and it is included at the end of my blog article, which is right here. It has all the code snippets, and it has the source to the GitHub. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.